the Houston Oilers through an earlier trade with the New Orleans Saints. So we got Houston picking Richard Johnson, cornerback, Wisconsin.
Firing for Cooper. Terrific play made by Richard Johnson.
Go downfield. Free ball. It is almost picked off. It is. They're going to rule it an interception. Richard Johnson.
Over 4 yards and 1,300 yards last year. How he could score that, I don't know. Interception by Richard Johnson of the Oilers. Montana going up top. Is it intercepted? It is indeed. Intended receiver was Jerry Rice, and Richard Johnson comes up with his second interception of the year.
Bengals need a long 6. Intercepted. It's picked off by the Oilers. On the run is Richard Johnson, and he's going in.
Brisker with time, throws short, intercepted. Picked off by Johnson. That's his 8th of the year.
You are about to enter the House of Pain with your hosts, K. Reno, DJ Rec, and Houston Oiler Richard Johnson here on the Legends 34 Sports Podcast.
Alrighty, Legends 34, we're going to get it started here. None other but K. Reno, and today Richard Johnson. We're so privileged to have. We have been waiting for this moment here to break us in for the first time, our first celebrity athlete, I guess.
Celebrity athlete. Man, look. First of all, man, he played on the Oilers. You know, we love our Texans. We love our local team. We love the Gamblers, the Roughnecks, whatever your name. But the real heart of this city was the Houston Oilers, man. So, you know, we got our brother in here who was part of those teams, man. Glad to have you with us, man.
Glad to be here, man.
No question about it.
No doubt.
First off, as you can see on the screen, we've taken it back. You know, this is your life, Richard
Yes,
Johnson.
it is.
This is in Illinois. You give us a little tour here. This is your high school alma mater.
Thornton Township High School, home of the Wildcats, Harvey, Illinois, south side of Chicago. The best high school in the state.
And this is where it all happened, huh? Your high school, your dreams. And this is only football, or did you venture into basketball, baseball?
Let me see how many sports I played in Harvey. I played about 6 of them, man. Let me see, especially the big 2. Your football, basketball, baseball. I ran track. I only ran my senior year because running was always punishment for me. And I wrestled a year. Couldn't do wrestling. I couldn't. I didn't want to wrestle. I wrestled 1 year. So that's it. And a lot of people didn't know this. A lot of people in Harvey didn't know this, but I also played lacrosse at Thornton. We had a lacrosse team.
Oh, Jim Brown.
It's only for those who know. If you know, you know. You know.
I don't even know the rules of lacrosse. I don't even know what you're supposed to do.
But if you took it back even further, when did the bug bite you? As far as sports, I mean, football. Did you play Pop Warner?
Harvey Coates. We had a team called Harvey Coates. Started playing Harvey Coates at 9 years old. I started with Harvey Coates. They put me on the offensive line. Didn't like that at all. Dude, didn't like the blocking.
Didn't like being on the offensive side of the ball, or you did not?
I like scoring touchdowns. I didn't like blocking. I'm not a blocking type guy.
Check this out. So all the sports you just named that you played, what made football be the one that stood out the way you said, okay, this is the path I'm gonna take? Was I was better at that, or?
I think I started off at most popular I think was basketball, but I wasn't growing, so I don't think I can be a basketball player. Yeah. But I played my sophomore year. I played basketball, and that was it. And then my junior year, I got into football, did pretty good, and it was on from there. Yeah. But my Harvey Coach year, football was my most enjoyable sport.
Did you take the football easier, or did it come more natural, or you was comfortable, just as comfortable in all of them?
When it first started, it came real easy to me, real easy, until I got the right coach. Yeah. Who, you get that coach in your life, and he's like, well, it's real easy to you. But he told me what I need to do was start working. I didn't work hard, it just came so naturally. Right. So once I got that coach and I started working, it was on from there. Yeah.
Playing different positions, or were you always in the secondary from day one?
Secondary, wide receiver, and running back. You got to score some touchdowns. Got to score some touchdowns, man.
No doubt.
Well, I see if we fast forward to your Wisconsin days, college, I imagine you're highly recruited, a lot of letters. How did that transpire there out of high school?
It's weird how I ended up in Wisconsin because my first choice was Michigan. They had just went to the Rose Bowl that year. And I said, I'm going to Michigan. And my second choice was Purdue. Purdue has a unique university. It's a great school, Purdue. And so I went up to Michigan. I told them, I said, man, Wisconsin said, as soon as I signed, I'm first team there. And it was Butch Woolfolk was my host. Butch Woolfolk, Stanley Edwards, ended up playing with me in Houston. They put on the Wisconsin game. They had beat Wisconsin like 42-3. They said, watch this track meet here. They was scoring left and right. I was like, oh, man. But I just went to Wisconsin. I loved it. Wisconsin, a great town, great city, great people. It was something I had never experienced. And then I ended up, I said, well, you can play right away here in Michigan. You know, Michigan was stacked back then. You know, that's when they give you 200 scholarships then, you know. So I ended up going to Wisconsin, and it was a great choice for me. Great choice. But a lot of great people. They gave me a family that I'm still in communication with today. I got a Badger family, so.
So when did you know, or when did you first kind of get a thought that, man, I could probably do this on the next level?
Next level.
You know, was it something you always knew, or you had to find out?
I always said when I was watching the Bears, I said, man, I certainly want to do that. I was about 9, 10 years old. I said, I want to do that. I'm going to play pro ball. I always said I was going to play pro ball. I mean, in college, though. But in college, it was my second year. I was starting. They told me I was starting freshman, but I wasn't. But my second year, I started. I was starting my second year, so I started all 3 years, second, third, and fourth year. So I was getting better and better. And then I started running track. Then when I did that 40 time, I ran like a 4.3. I knew I was good.
It was all over.
I got a bunch of attention there.
4.3, 40.
Yeah, buddy.
Again, we're not saying that, you know, way back then, but was it electronic then or by hand? Both?
That's a good question. I don't know, man.
The electronics were about the 80s that started coming into effect.
Electronic.
I think they did both.
What, the 40 time? The 40 time?
Which one's more precise, the electronic?
Well, it's a debate. What's your feelings on that?
It don't matter to me as long as they say 4.3. So that's
look,
all good, man.
4.4 don't matter. You know, if it's off by, look, 4.3 anywhere up in that range, dollar signs. I'm getting paid because they gonna draft that. They gonna draft that.
And then when you see a bunch of agents calling you, that's when you know it's gonna happen at a bunch of agents.
Who'd you end up going with for his agent wise?
My agent was Ed Sewell out of San Francisco. I met him through Donnie Anderson. He played at Purdue. He was from Detroit, and I had met him on a couple recruiting trips. We took a couple trips together, and we were at the East-West Shrine game, the All-Star game in San Francisco. And he introduced me to Ed. He was based in San Francisco, and I met Ed. It was Ed, Willie Brown, you know, the congressman, the power broker Willie Brown back then. There, and his little protege was Kamala Harris back then.
Wow. Crazy.
Back in the day.
Crazy, man.
Well, I did some more research. I wish I could find some of this footage, but it's Wisconsin, or maybe it was high school. In the game, you blocked 3 kicks. Is that correct?
Oh, that was Wisconsin. Yeah.
Oh, is there footage of this?
Yeah, that's in Wisconsin. There should be some footage of that.
So you was also special teams.
Yeah, I played a little special teams.
Wow, a little bit.
Only
3 block kicks in the game. That's
hold on. So was it all field goals, or mix of field goals and punch?
It was 2 field goals and a punt.
So you had the block down to a science then, because I know you can't look up and block 3.
Yeah, but that was against Missouri. I think it was against Missouri. I was special team player of the week. Yeah, Missouri, and blocked one of them. Ended up, I caught it and ran it in.
Man.
Yeah, that was great, man.
I'm just saying, man. You know, that ain't an easy thing to do. I know most they get to the line, they gonna always stick that hand up. But if you get 2 or 3 of them in one game, then you done figure something out in that particular game.
I couldn't even do that in Tecmo Bowl.
Oh man, I heard I was pretty good in Tecmo Bowl. I never played it, but somebody said, "Man, you hell of a DB on Tecmo Bowl, man."
Bro, that gotta be
real. That's what I heard.
That's another thing. The video, there's a graphic like you put on your Facebook. It's got listed Richard Johnson on one of the games, right?
Yep.
Tell me this, because they got to be a surreal feeling that once the video game era really kicked in, to you are actually one of the players on the video on Madden and all that.
It is, man. It's crazy when you see yourself on the video.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe how much, you just like, damn, that's me.
Yeah. And if they got you being good, they ain't got you up. They got my lot of them. Back when I played, it was like, man, this dude's sorry, man. This dude a scrub, man.
Yeah, slow speed, but I always had good speed.
Yeah. Nah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So 85 is the year you got drafted?
Yeah, drafted
and
in 85.
We got that, Reggie. Can we cue this up? We have this ready here.
Got that in 85?
We sure do. Now, hold on before we start. Because, again, did some research. There was a big Oilers fallout or drama this year with, I think the first pick was going on because...
The year 1985, the lowly Oilers have the second pick in the draft, behind Buffalo, which, early on, decides to select Bruce Smith. But there's a wild card out there. Another prospect some teams badly want, a quarterback from the University of Miami named Bernie Kosar. The Oilers don't need a quarterback, but the Vikings, picking third, do. Houston and Minnesota agree to switch places. The Oilers also add a second-round pick in the trade, but only if the Vikings can persuade Kosar to enter the draft. You see, back in 1985, college players could not leave early for the NFL, unless they graduated college early, which Kosar was about to do. Kosar, though, learned of another option. Graduate early, then wait a bit to turn pro, and he'd enter a special supplemental draft, in which the Cleveland Browns, this Ohio boy's preferred destination, had secured the #1 pick. NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle allowed Kosar to choose his draft, and Bernie Kosar, no surprise, picked the supplemental one. The Oilers were furious. They wanted that extra draft pick. They threatened to sue Rozelle and the NFL, hoping to stop the April draft so a judge could determine Kosar's fate. But the day before the draft, the Oilers backed down because the Vikings would not be a part of their lawsuit. And that's how the Houston Oilers once threatened to shut down the NFL draft. A strange but true Houston sports story.
Anyway, so the Oilers end up doing this.
Waiting on the Houston selection, we can mention one thing that obviously we are waiting on this
pick in the first round. The Houston Oilers to an earlier trade with the New Orleans Saints. So we got Houston picking Richard Johnson, cornerback, Wisconsin. Next up, San Diego.
Pause it.
I've never seen
Now,
that.
can we go back in time? Where are you at this moment?
I was in California.
Man.
Did you anticipate this early, or were you disappointed you were this late? What was the feeling?
I was told I was going to go 8th to Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay went in a different direction. So
8th overall.
8th, the 8th pick. But Mike Hollavac was the general manager. He saw me in Wisconsin and said, man, we're committed to the big guy Ray Childress with the 3rd pick, but if you're on the board by 11, I'm going to take you.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I think I can fall in love with Houston.
Yeah.
A warm city.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was hyped to go down to Houston though. So I was very happy. But I was in California with my roommate. We went out there. We were just hanging out with my agent. So we were just out there hanging out, having a good time.
So this is long before it is the big spectacle that it is now, where everybody come dressed up, fly, and it's a big event and all that. You at the crib just hanging out, chilling with the homies. Did they give you a phone call or?
My agent called.
Yeah.
My agent called me. He said, well, the Oilers are looking for you. They're trying to get you down there now.
So he said, man, he told the truth.
Yeah, because they didn't have our numbers back then.
Yeah.
He called my agent because, you list your agent on there. They called my agent. He said, well, they want to get you to Houston right away. So,
yeah.
And then we flew down to Houston.
Was that your first time ever coming down? I mean, you might have played in Texas or whatever, but had you ever been down here before?
I visited a couple agents in Dallas and Houston. Houston, Texas had a bunch of agents, and they used to just fly us all over the place, trying to get us to sign. So I had visited Houston several times, had a great time.
Right.
But I think it was Dallas. I did like 2 or 3 agents in Dallas. I was in Dallas every other weekend, hanging out there.
Yeah, so
your teammate went right before you. Al Toon.
Al Toon was 10th pick to the Jets.
Yeah, man.
How did that make you feel? I mean, it was like...
Man, Al and I, we made each other better. I mean, we practiced against each other, so it was great.
Wow.
Real happy for Al. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
I used to like Al Toon back in the day because everybody wanted to mess with me. I played wide receiver back in the days, bro, and I was good. I'm gonna say that for the 1,000th time. So I always looked at the wide receiver. You know, my favorite wide receiver all the time, Lynn Swan.
Oh yeah, man.
And then you know, I fell in love with I liked Kenny Burrow, but he was kind of scary to me. He was
Double zero.
Yeah, double zero. But Ernest Givens and all those guys, you know, of course, you know, you're well familiar with those guys. But man, so getting drafted, coming to training camp, how fast were you thrown into the fire, or did you kind of have to work your way up?
I was holding out, so I missed half training camp my rookie year.
Oh, you held out?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the holdout.
So I did not even, where was it, in San Marcos?
Yeah.
Is it San Marcos or San Angelo? San Angelo. I never made it down there rookie, so the team they came back to Houston.
Yeah.
So it was real rough on me because I wasn't in football shape.
Gotcha.
I was just running.
Gotcha.
But it took me a while to get acclimated to the pro level speed. But once
when did the holdout end? Because you know, of course, you'll see holdout. You know, that's behind the money.
Well, like a week or two before regular season. You don't want to miss those big checks.
Yeah.
You know, regular season checks.
Yeah.
Versus those postseason checks. It's a big deal.
And how long did it take you to get some playing time after? Was it right away, or was it bad?
Man, my first year, Jerry Glanville, I came in. He was very upset about me holding out. He didn't like me. I was in doghouse. I was not one of his favorite players coming in. So it was hard for me to get on the field.
Right.
Very hard for me to get on the field.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing about pro football a lot of people don't understand. You know, it's personalities involved sometimes. You know, it's like you probably think, well, the best player gonna do this, best player. No, it don't work like that. You know, you got coaches with personalities and they have egos and feelings. So.
Politics involved.
Yes, sir, always, man.
Yeah.
That's how it is, man. But it took me a while to get on the field.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
It took me
Go ahead, you got some left?
Yeah, also in the middle of all the research, right, I guess the elephant in the room, and you know, hindsight's 2020. Jerry Rice was also in this draft. I did not know this until looking this up.
Yeah, Jerry Rice.
Can you talk about this? At the time, of course, Jerry's playing for Mississippi State, right?
Mississippi State.
Of course, he's not who. Again, it's worth mentioning, ESPN at one time arguably said that Jerry Rice was the greatest football player in history. Arguably. Because of the records he set and how dynamically they are apart from people below him, right? At the time, did you know of Jerry Rice? Did you know Jerry Rice?
I didn't know Jerry Rice, didn't know of Jerry Rice. Man. All I know, he went to HBCU. Because Jerry was like the third or fourth receiver, because Al went, and it was Eddie Brown was in that class. Cincinnati played against Eddie. He went before Jerry also.
Wow.
Yeah, one of my friends remind me of that all the time.
Yeah.
Man, how you get picked before Jerry Rice?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I say, hey, man, that's how it worked back then, man.
That class was Herschel Walker also.
Herschel was a year before us. Doug was in our class.
William Perry.
Perry went to Bears, and that's interesting about the Bears. I visited the Bears, but the Bears had the 16th pick, and I went up there because I was at home in Harvard. I said, hey, they didn't invite me up. I went up there because I told them I always wanted to be a Bear, and I said, why you invite me up? You know, all the team. They said, we don't think you're gonna be around 16th pick.
Right.
But I could imagine, I said, man, if I would have got drafted with the Bears at 16, I would have been on the 85 Bears.
Oh,
one of the greatest teams ever.
Yeah.
Man, I missed out.
Yeah.
And when I went up there to visit, man, I said, man, I would love to come up here and play in Chicago.
Right.
They said, no, man, you're not going to be around. They should have did what San Francisco did. San Francisco traded for Jerry Rice.
Right.
And that's an amazing trade right there.
Right.
No question about it.
Amazing trade, Jerry Rice. But like I said earlier, man, it depends on the system who you get drafted by.
Yeah.
Now, Jerry was a great player, but, you know, he went to a great system.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
Yeah, Joe Montana sitting there waiting on you.
Yeah, because, you know, if you think about Jerry, because Jerry wasn't the fastest guy. Al and all those guys were a lot faster than Jerry. If he had got into a regular system where he had to depend on more speed with that West Coast offense, quick throwing, it was a perfect system.
Yeah. It's all about the way you land.
There you go. That's very important, man.
And I believe 87, I don't know if I get my dates right, but you would play against the Niners and intercept Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Throwing to Jerry
Rice. You know, I was very proud of that.
What a moment.
Very proud of that one.
Come on.
3rd and 16. That's my point. Montana going up top. Is it intercepted? It is indeed. Intended receiver was Jerry Rice, and Richard Johnson comes up with his 2nd interception of the year. Watch as the ball comes out to the sideline. If we can see it, Jerry Rice will be stumbling. See him trip and fall right there? That ruined things for Jerry Rice. He fell. The ball was thrown behind him, and Johnson was right there.
Come on, Jerry. I got you all day talking smack. One pick, Jerry. I'm going to get a couple more.
Yeah.
Then I get an interference on him a couple
right.
later.
I don't mean
but I got a pick on you, Jerry.
No.
He scored, and you did
Interception guarding Jerry Rice against Joe Montana trumps a pass interference call any day. That's was y'all talking trash back then?
Oh yeah, definitely talking trash.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, is it fair to say at that time, Joe Montana is the Tom Brady of his era? He's the GOAT at that time.
Oh, definitely.
So you're picking off arguably the greatest quarterback of your era.
Yep, I got that game ball at home.
I still say
I got
he's the
that
greatest
game
quarterback.
ball.
So you got that ball then, yeah.
Yeah, I think I would pick him as probably my greatest quarterback.
Without a doubt. You know,
Joe Montana, that's my guy.
Yeah,
I
no
pick
question
Joe.
about it.
That can't but help with assets, film study. I mean, I know a lot of it's athleticism, but some of it's a telltale sign. You picked up on Montana in the film, and you knew that.
When you watch him, he makes big plays at the right time. He always came through with big plays.
Yeah,
man. Montana was always smooth. Didn't make mistakes. A great guy at love. He could read coverages real well. You couldn't trick him as much, you know. Joe was a great quarterback, man.
Yeah.
He knew it from A to Z.
Not a real athletic guy either. Just smart and prepared and all that.
Yeah, and you know, you would think he doesn't have a big arm, but when when he had to throw that ball deep,
right.
They throw the ball deep. Jerry wasn't that fast, but for some reason he always getting behind people, and Joe will put it up there.
And then you got John Taylor on the other side.
Yeah, John Taylor. Yeah, sure was John Taylor.
Who was some of the DBs? You know, because you played in that era, man. You played in there with Ronnie Lott and all those guys.
Oh, Ronnie was my guy.
That would be your guy that you looked at.
Ronnie Lott, Kenny Easley.
Yeah.
Remember Kenny? And it was a DB from Cleveland. He died with the heart problems. Don Rogers. He played at UCLA, man. He could come up there and smash you too, boy.
Yeah.
But Lester Hayes is my all-time favorite cornerback. Lester the molester, boy.
Stick him.
Lester Hayes is my guy. Man, he made being DB so fun, popular. Yeah. It was fun being a DB.
Yeah, Lester Hayes was a bad dude, man. I remember playing with the Raiders back in the days, man. Yeah, he was a great cornerback, and he played with Jack Tatum too for a little.
Yeah, him and Jack. Yeah,
assassin.
They were rough.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that was a rough secondary there.
What I wanted to ask you about is kind of about that era, because man, y'all could knock people's head off back in the day. Like, you know, these days a lot of the hits that y'all were doing, you get kicked out the league behind.
Comparison between now and then.
Yeah. What do you think about? Because you know, just being realistic. Safety is an issue. A lot of people coming back late with CTE issues and all that. Yeah. But as far as just the game, the purity of the game, do you still look at it as it being soft now compared to when y'all were playing?
Yeah, I figure it's more entertainment now too. It's a lot more entertainment. You know, they have to compete with so many things. So I see what they're saying. And
unnecessary roughness. Number 23 defense. First down.
Richard Johnson. This is the most penalized team in the NFL.
We want to make it more entertaining. We don't want to see guys land on the floor.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing, you know, you see your sport and guys land on the floor hurt. You know, that's not a good look for the league. But I don't want to just say soft, but I want to just say it's more intellectual, so to say.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, we used to do this thing, man. I used to always get receivers, man, that run and jam. Mm-hmm. You know, because receivers are always looking in the ball. I would always sneak around the backside of them. As soon as they hacked the ball, just run and slam.
Oh,
bam! Man, I'd knock him out real bad, bro.
Right.
I mean, oh man, I just laugh at him, man. Yeah. I used to knock the mess out of him, man.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let me do that today.
Oh, heck no. That's 8-game suspension these days.
Yeah.
You played with a guy, like I say, this is one of my favorite receivers, man. Ernest Givens, man, he was fearless going over the middle, man.
And how tall was Ernest Gibbons?
About 5'9".
Yeah, 5'9", no more than 5'10". But Ernest would go across that middle and catch the ball.
Man, I used to be like, please,
don't do it.
But what would did y'all ever used to like talk to him and say, be careful, man, you know, because I mean, I know you being on the defensive side, you would love a receiver doing that, but as your teammate, did y'all kind of like, Ernest, man?
Nah, Ernest, do your job, man. Ernest take a hit, they spin him around. Ernest get back, he get back up and he back in the game.
Yeah, man, I know.
Ernest didn't miss a lot of games. He showed up for the team. He always showed up.
Yeah, he would go across that middle and just get just mauled across that middle.
Got mauled plenty of times. The only person I didn't like see get hit across the middle because he was an inside receiver too was Drew Hill because he was an older guy.
Older guy, yeah.
Oh man, he got hit against Philly. Wes Hopkins hit Drew.
Man.
Oh man, we all wanted to fight Wes. Now he blasted Drew, man. I said, man, you can't hit old man like that. You know, because Drew one of them guys that practice, everybody just run half speed against him. You know, you don't even touch him. He like a quarterback.
Yeah, Drew had been around. I think he played for. Didn't he play for the Rams?
He was at the Rams. Yeah.
Because so by the time he got to Houston, he was a little older guy, veteran guy.
Yeah, veteran guy, man. And we hate to see him get hit.
Yeah.
Drew, don't hit the old guy. You know?
Let me ask you this too, like, because I know, man, because they talk about this in basketball all the time. The money that they paying these dudes today, man. Ooh, do you wish you was born a little bit later on?
Oh man, it's astronomical right now. It's going to be, especially with the streaming now. They got games on Netflix now.
Right.
So all that means is players get X amount, 65% of the pie getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
You know, it's good for the league, man. Good for the players, man. As long as they keep the popularity up.
Yeah.
And they're reaching a younger crowd with their streaming and all that.
Because the reason why I asked, because I just felt like, and I never played in the league, obviously, but I felt like y'all played so much harder, man. It's like, man, these guys gave it all. They guys walk around now limping in wheelchairs and crutches because they gave so much of their body, you know. But for the economics to be so different. Then and compared to now, man, you know, that is, like you say, it's astronomical.
It's truly different because, you know, I got buddies who coach in the league now and say where, you know, league rules where you can't have 2 a days. We used to go 2 a days in pads, hitting in that hot sun. They can't do that. You go 1 day pads. Then they'll make go past another 2 days. They don't hit it in practice as much as we used to do. We used to do that 9-on-7 was a drill. You pow, just hit on. They don't do all that hitting. So that's when I see, when they say DBs guys don't tackle as well, because they don't tackle as well because they don't tackle at all. You know, they're not tackling like we used to do.
That is amazing.
So they making good money.
Speaking of CTE, is there maybe some instances when you played either college or even NFL that you got your bell rung maybe?
Oh yeah, plenty times,
a little
man.
Too much, and you think back on that now? What's your feelings on CTE?
CTE? Well, that hasn't caught up with me yet, and hopefully, God willing, it won't. But you know, I feel some effects. You know, you feel some effects. You know, but I try to do some little mind games. You know, some Sudokus and things like that. There's plenty of times I done ran into people, you know, not knowing where I'm going. You know, I sit down for a couple plays. You ready? I'm back in there.
Right.
You know, now they take your helmet. You know, back then
you go in the blue. You go to the blue tent.
Yeah, the blue tent. What's the blue tent? Yeah, but. They used to put us right back on the field, baby. We got the show goes on, baby. Let's go.
And then I heard some players talk about just the pressure of like, even if they did get their bell rung, I'm going back in because somebody behind me.
Job security, man.
My job,
Hey, football's a rough game, man. I mean, somebody's after your job every year. There's a new guy making less money than you. Probably do your job, maybe a little. But the money-wise, economically, you know, there's a lot of factors involved. You know, money. Who makes less money, and you know, you gotta be wary of that. You gotta stay on your game. I can't let him in. Look at Brady. I mean, Bledsoe gets hurt. Look at Brady. It's history, man.
Change the game. Change the course of history.
Bledsoe get hurt. I mean, Bledsoe, because Tom Brady probably never would have beat Bledsoe.
Right.
I don't think he would have beat Bledsoe. You get hurt. times in there, hey, history.
Right, man.
Rings everywhere.
Capitalize on your chance, on your opportunity.
Man.
So you spent your whole career with Houston, right?
8 years with Houston.
That's amazing. Now that's another thing that's kind of unheard of in today's game. Guys bouncing around. 3 years they moving around, going chasing money or whatever. But back in those days, really in all sports, a lot of players would stay on those teams, and you see those core groups stay together.
Wasn't a lot of free agent. But when my last year, I went to Cleveland for an off season.
Yeah.
I stayed in Cleveland for 2 weeks because I went with Nick Saban was the defense coordinator in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And Belichick was head coach. Nick Saban was coordinator. So Nick brought me in because I knew Nick. Nick was our. Well, yeah, I was in my 3rd year. Nick was a rookie.
Wow.
Nick was a young rookie coach. He had just left Michigan State, and he was coaching the DBs. So we had to get Nick acclimated to the NFL system, because college, he liked to do things a certain way. Y'all see how Nick is a disciplinary and wants you to do this way and that. We had to explain to Nick, well, Nick, in the pros, as long as the job get done, we can do it any way we want to. Nick Saban didn't like that.
Nick said, I'm going back to college.
Nick was out of there, baby.
Control freak. I can't. These grown men you're dealing with.
Plus, I don't think he liked dealing with Jerry Glanville, man. Leaving tickets for Elvis. Nick didn't like that at all because Nick was a football guy.
Jerry was wild.
Jerry's too wild. Nick Saban.
So did y'all relationship, man? Apparently it did to the point where he started giving you playing time. But what about just that person? Did you like Jerry or eventually, or just like this just business? This my job?
I think it stemmed from the fact there. When I came out, Mike Holloway liked me. See, people got to realize you got coaches, and some of them like certain players. But you got that staff, coaching staff. GM, So Mike Holloway liked me, and I think somebody said Jerry Glanville, it was another Derek Burrows, who went 13th to Buffalo. He liked him. So he said that would have been his choice. And they picked me, and I end up feeling the wrath, but
but he played you though. You was out there.
I played a little bit. He had to play me sometime. I was telling when I went to the coach, can you trade me? Because I was almost in New York. I almost got traded to New York.
Right.
I almost went up there. I could have won a Super Bowl up there in New York.
Man.
They didn't pull the trigger on me because I asked to get out of there.
Dodging Mr. Bass Bottle and Mr. John.
I'm telling you, 2 powerhouses.
Bobby weaving.
2 power. I almost got traded out of there because I said, I got to go, coach. I don't like being here. I want to go.
So towards the end, I hate to get to the end, but I got the questions after the end, I guess. When you knew it was kind of you towards the retirement, or was there a moment or something happened, or did you said you're gonna hang it up?
It's weird because when my best year, my first year started was with Jack Pardee came in. When they brought the Houston guy, Jack Pardee, Jim Eddy, and Pat Thomas was my coach. And Pat Coleman, that's the first year I led the league in 8 interceptions. Then the next year, they go and draft 4 young rookies. So they were the backup, and I hurt my knee. And they said, we got rookies, you got to play. And I played on a bad knee that whole year.
Meniscus, ACL, PCL?
It was, let me see, I had bone tips, burn spurs, and a little slight tear. It wasn't really a slight tear. And I left the whole season. And it was never the same. And then when I came back that next year, I was like, oh man, it wasn't the same.
Right.
You can feel I didn't have the power in the knee.
Right.
So I knew the end was coming. But I had finished. I did my MBA from University of Houston, so I was trying to go to the next level.
Right. But the average NFL career is what? About 3
years, man. 3.
So, you made it almost a decade, and the injuries was the reason why you probably didn't. How much longer do you think you would have played if you never would have got hurt?
I would try to get at least 10 in.
10?
Yeah, I think I could have played, because I think I could have moved to safety. I was good at breaking on the ball. I could have played safety.
Right.
Plus, I like hitting, too. I was, I could go up there and hit people, so.
Right.
And that's why I played a lot with Jerry. I ended up playing more in the middle. I was a safety type. That's where I used to get all my interceptions, from the middle.
And a lot of DBs, they transition like that. Because Ronnie Lott was DB.
He was a corner, yep. Ronnie Lott.
And he went to safety.
Rod Woodson went to safety.
Right.
Yep, that's how you do it. Move to the inside.
Yeah, stretch it out a little bit longer.
Yeah, especially when you lose a step or two.
Right, yeah.
Move in.
The following year, right, they would have Buddy Ryan came in.
He came in right after me. I was gone.
And
Buddy
Kevin
came.
Gilbride?
Yeah, that was
And
a
then
year.
incident on the sideline.
Yeah, that was the year I left.
Oh, he was gone.
I left that way, and everybody asked me about the big comeback. I said,
that's where I was going.
And that
big
was
comeback.
the next year's topic.
So you wouldn't have part of that team?
No, if I'd have been there, it wouldn't have happened.
You know, because when I looked, I said, hold on, man. I said, Rich was done in 92. That happened in 93.
Richard would have not let Don Beebe caught that ball, right?
Sure wouldn't. I would have grabbed him, tackled him or something, knocked him out of bounds.
To get that one done, a bunch of plays that led up. You know, I always heard this rumor, and I don't know, like I said, you wasn't there, but I heard that the defense coordinator was a guy named Jim Eddy.
Jim Eddy.
Right. Yeah. And they said when Allers had that big lead, they started falling back into the prevent
defense.
And they say Chris Dishman was begging this dude, like, hey man, let's stay straight up. Like, well, did you hear anything about any truth to that?
Not really, but I know Chris, and I know Chris is one of those aggressive type guys. He's like, nah, we're not going to sit there and let the backup Frank Wright beat it. Come on, go attack Frank Wright, man. Frank Wright just sitting back there looking like all pro, man.
And then, you know, my thing is this here. We the guys that sit at home hollering and screaming at the TV. We don't know the X's and O's, the ins and outs, and the details of all that. But sometimes, as common sense, we like, why not continue to do what's working? You know, what makes a coordinator or just even a head coach, what makes them just decide that you done pumped out a 35-3 cushion like this, and it's not the beginning or the middle of the fourth quarter, it's halftime. You got a whole other half to play. What make them dudes do that?
That's a strange mentality to pump the brake, start breaking. No, I'm gonna pour it on you, man.
Right.
But they, for some reason, they went into a shell. I know Buffalo couldn't have went there and made that many changements because it's so hard to guard all those guys in that run and shoot, man.
Man, let me tell you something. I'm making a confession right here on this show. That's probably the only time in my sports life, just growing up watching sports, that I almost cried. I mean, where you just in front of you like, come on, man, and get a stop light. Because I was sick, man. Because if I'm not mistaken, either the year after or the year before, they had a 21-6 lead against the Broncos and lost that game. People don't really talk about that one.
Yeah, we lost that.
But man, that was crazy. It reminded me of not the same magnitude, but kind of, because that championship game when U of H was up against North Carolina State. And they was running, gunning, fire slamming, jamming, and they got off the gas. Guy Lewis slowed them down. They had to leave. Man, you got to dance with the girl you came with, man. Keep doing what works, bro. But I'm glad to hear that my guy was not on that team.
No, I was not there. I was gone, man.
What was you thinking watching that?
I felt bad, man. I really felt bad, man, because we had been that far, man. We were that team, and Buffalo was always the team that stopped us.
Yeah,
man. Buffalo owned us.
Right.
To be honest, the problem was we always let Buffalo get home field, and we got to go play them in January.
Right.
Because if we played Buffalo in Astrodome, Warren would have. They would have put it on them, but they always had us in January because I think we lost about 3 or 4 times in Buffalo, man.
Man, but we was up 35-3 that time. That game. It's like that. But you know what it reminds me of, Rich? It's like, because I go way back. I go back to the lovely Blue Orleans with Earl and Dan Pastorini and all that.
Yeah.
And just what you said. It was the same thing. We always ended up having to go to Pittsburgh. Always had to go to Pittsburgh during that time of year when it's snowing and cold. And we just knew you're not winning up there. And we can go all the way back to the Mike Renfro catch, the catch that ended up initiating instant replay and all that. But man, history, it's like it repeats itself. Man.
That was their nemesis, and Buffalo was ours.
Yeah. What was your relationship with Warren Moon? Because, you know, Moon, to me, he was always an underrated quarterback, didn't get a chance to come straight to the pros because that whole dynamic of black quarterback couldn't play back then. What was your relationship like with Moon?
Warren was a consummate professional. You know, he wasn't an outgoing guy. You know, somebody might think, you know, he wasn't the go out, the braggadocious, the rah-rah guy. But Warren was quiet and professional at all times. Man. Quiet, always professional, and always doing the right thing, you know. And when he said something, everybody listened, you know, because he wasn't a big talker. So when Warren said, hey, guys, we got to stop clowning around and focus, you know, everybody focus, you know. Because that's one of the big things. We had a lot of fun playing ball. We had a ton of fun. You know, but Warren kept the team in line.
I believed in Moon, man.
Warren was a good guy, man. Throw that ball, man.
I felt comfortable when he was out there, you know. There's always something. Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
And, I guess the current situation between the Titans and the Texans, right? And the whole thing of wearing our blues, wearing the I remember last time, rest in power, Russell, he did the interview with you, which was a privilege. Again, it was awesome.
Russell Washington, that was my guy. Big Time Records, Russell Washington. Rest in peace.
Russell was a hell of a football player.
Yeah, he always tell me that, man. Rich, man, I was a good player too. You know, he always said that.
But I can't help but bring that up because you were telling us these really rich stories about how the Titans treat ex-Oilers like royalty. Can you tell us about that?
Every year, Susan Adams bring the old Oilers to Nashville to watch a game. And it started off, I think about 4 years ago, it started off with about 70 of us, then 90. I think it was like 170 guys came down. She took care of everything, put us down at the W, put us in the suite watching the game. I mean, they had everything lined up for us. Friday night steak, this, that. I mean, she took care of us down there, man. And everybody said, why y'all go to Nashville? I said, hey,
why not?
That's where our records are. They're in Nashville, the records are. And I always tell them, Houston didn't cut the check.
Man.
Bottom line, Houston didn't cut the check. And that's what Susan Adams says. They didn't cut the check.
And that was the contributing factors to the team leaving the city in the first place.
Right? But I don't know how they let them leave with the logo and the name, you know, because Cleveland, they didn't leave Cleveland with the Browns. And can you imagine that Cleveland wouldn't have went for that? I don't know how Houston let them leave with the name or the logo.
So the Adams family didn't own that name and logo like that?
I can't help it.
Yeah, they own it. That's that's the Adams family.
So how would they have been able to prevent them from taking a negotiation
with the NFL? They should have went through the league. Say no, that all the history stays here. You know, because I think the Browns' history stayed in Cleveland.
Because they became Baltimore.
They went to Baltimore. I don't think the Browns' records are in Baltimore. I'm not sure, but I think everything stayed in Cleveland.
The Browns didn't exist for a few years. Then when the city got a franchise back, boom, we the Cleveland Browns again.
Started right back in.
Perfect.
And in Houston, a lot of people get upset with that, you know, because y'all don't know nothing about Tennessee. But we go down and have a good time every year.
But you know what made me mad more than anything? It's like the year the Oilers left and went to Tennessee, they went to the Super Bowl. All these years, bro, like I was just crying and hurt behind Earl Campbell and the run and shoot. And the year they leave, they go to that's the 1 yard line.
Almost won it.
And I was you know, you still invested as a Houston Oilers fan because they still wearing the uniform. They were the Tennessee Oilers. Remember that?
Back when they started.
When they were Tennessee Oilers. And I was still pulling for them. And I mean, just the goal line, just bad. That was a great tackle. Great tackle.
Rest in power, Steve McNair.
Steve McNair.
Wow.
I was just tripping because I'm like, man, maybe the city is cursed. How we all these years couldn't get there, but now as soon as they leave, they make it there, man. What do you think about the Texans now? You know, I know you all is through and through, but I know by being in Houston, do you watch the Texans?
Oh, I love watching. I love the young guy, Stout, man. I was just talking, I love that kid, man. And his attitude and his personality, it's just great to see it. He's very refreshing, man. So I love that, and I'm really a Texan fan.
You saw a lot of the moves that they made coming out.
They make some big moves.
What you think, man?
I think the big question is how's Diggs going to fit in?
Okay.
How Diggs gonna fit in?
Yeah.
Because I don't want Diggs yelling at my quarterback.
Gotcha.
I don't want him yelling at the young boy.
Gotcha.
We're gonna have a problem if he yelling at the young boy.
I think D'Amico could kind of buffer that, hopefully, and then make sure, and then CJ, like you said, with his leadership and all that, what I liked, and we covered this on an early episode, is how he's already got Diggs and those guys working out early to establish that kind of rapport. Yeah. So yeah, because I'm like you, hey man, you come to my team, don't come down here hollering at me, bro.
I'm telling you, don't come out at my quarterback, man.
I'm gonna get you the ball. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but if he fits in, it's gonna be exciting. Yeah, it's gonna be real exciting for the Texans.
Because nobody saw them doing what they did last year. That came out of nowhere to win the division and win the playoff game.
Yeah. And of all people to appreciate this, D'Amico Ryan's coming in to this team's mentality last year. We finally can tackle somebody now.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Titans ain't running 2 bills on us when they come to town.
Yeah,
right. That has changed the whole philosophy of the whole team and pointed them in the right direction. The winners are ourselves, and now you're stacking with this whole offensive side of the ball. Man, things are looking up.
It's gonna be a big year for him. Yes, sir.
No question about it, man. You attending the games?
I went to one this last year, but I'm definitely gonna try to go see my Bears come down.
Okay.
My Bears
that's first game of the season, right?
Second, I think it's the 15th.
Yeah,
first or second.
Yeah, they played.
And they play the first preseason also.
Right.
They play in Ohio for the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, that's the first game. You're right.
So your thoughts on the Bears? I can't help but ask. Caleb Williams coming in to take.
Well, that's it.
What's his name was off to the races with the Steelers, right?
Yeah, I like Justin Fields, man. So I just think that they're going to start over. You're going to have, everybody watching what CJ did, but that's not normal what CJ Stroud did. Yeah. You can't expect every quarterback to come and do what that kid did. Right. Chicago has some growing pains with a rookie quarterback. Yeah. No doubt about it.
Right.
CJ is special.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're rounding third here. I at least want to ask you, just put you on the spot on this question, right? If you had a Mount Rushmore of Oilers, right? I guess Oilers. Earl Campbell's up there by default.
Earl's up there.
Or Moon, I'm thinking is the default. Who's your other two?
Let me give you a couple other two guys that I really like. My two buddies, Chris Dishman and Bubba McDowell.
Bubba McDowell.
Chris Dishman, Bubba McDowell.
Bubba McDowell used to hit, boy.
Man, he hit that guy in New Orleans one day, man. I felt bad for the guy. Man, that guy laid out. Bubba laid some wood on him, man.
Bubba used to hit.
Bubba was hit. And Chris Dishman, he's one because Chris came here, he was like a 5th rounder, man. Yeah. Tall, skinny guy. Chris didn't have no muscle. Chris developed, man. Chris was like 6th on the roster. Yeah. He worked his way up, man. All pro, man. Right. So that's why he's one of my favorite. Chris Dishman worked his way in.
I remember Chris Dishman, like some early struggles when he was first getting out there, and then he just became, an all-pro.
Yeah, he worked hard, man. Yeah. He earned it, man, because he was a little skinny kid coming in. But he could run. Little skinny kid run, and he developed into a Pro Bowl football player.
Yeah. No question about it, man. No question about it, man. We got Richard Johnson up in this thing, man. Educating.
One other question.
That history, man.
That when I talk to younger people about sports and whatnot, and the 3 sports, the main sports, baseball, basketball, football. And I talk about baseball has a minor league system, right? 3 levels. So when you come from college to the pros, there's an adjustment, right? Same thing in college basketball to the NBA, there's an adjustment, or if they get in the G League. But what I want to know, if you mind discussing that adjustment from college football to the NFL. I believe, I haven't played, but I believe out of all the sports, that adjustment is the biggest. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, because it's physically...
There's no minor leagues.
No minor league, and plus, you could really get hurt, especially when we were doing it, man. You come in there not prepared mentally, coming in there, running around there, somebody hurt you real bad.
Like, you're 4.3 speed, and in college, you're lined up against a receiver who's probably, help me out here, 4.4, 4.5, maybe 4.3 yourself. But now you get in the NFL, you're lined up against guys, 4.2. Bojack that said he ran a 4.
Yeah, Bo was fast, man.
There's this dynamic gap here that happens, huh?
Yeah, it is, man. And especially you develop. So once you that first year, your rookie year, it's a whole nother development, man. You get stocky, you're bigger, and it can be real rough on a young kid coming in there.
Let alone quarterbacks. Like I say, it's always hard for young quarterbacks. That speed adjustment, reading the field, because the window is so much shorter now.
You can't stand back there throwing the ball these days, man. You gotta get your reads and everything.
Yeah.
You gotta be calm and cool.
Let me ask you a question, because we talked about you getting the interception all right. Who are your top 3 most difficult matchups at receiver?
Top 3
in your whole career.
Good question on who I pick. Let me see, top 3. I'm gonna probably pick somebody in my division someday, because like Eddie Brown was rough. Duper and Clayton, them dudes, man. Especially Miami. Clayton. People don't get Clayton a lot of dudes. Clayton would run them crazy routes on you, man. You be like, Clayton said, man, you dug that up in the ground. Yeah, I was new for you. You ain't seen that one, did you?
Yeah.
Clayton was good, man. Danny Marino put the ball on Clayton. Clayton was tough, man. And you never hear people talk about how good he was, man. But Clayton was a tough guy. You couldn't man-to-man him, man.
So Mark
Clayton was definitely up there, man.
Of noteworthy, I looked this up. Packers and Oilers, about a 6-year gap. So you never got to score off against Sterling Sharp.
No, I never played.
That's crazy.
No.
Which arguably some say the greatest receiver of all time. I have heard that argument. He had a shorter career. He wasn't able to play as long as Jerry, but the numbers he put up while he was able to play were astronomical.
Yeah, he did a good job. Sterling, Sharp was a tough receiver. Never played against him.
That's crazy, man. That's how the NFL is. It's more teams and games on the schedule. Right. So it's not like NBA and baseball where everybody gonna play everybody. You can go years, a career without even facing a team or a guy. That's crazy. I'm gonna tell you a guy that used to drive me crazy when you mentioned guys in your division. Man, that doggone Webster Slaughter.
Oh, man. I got to mention Webster.
Stand that dude,
because Webster was tough, man.
Break our back.
Webster would not let you punk him.
Man.
Webster, you couldn't punk Webster. You could hit Webster, he'll get right back up.
He seemed always
that didn't hurt you.
Painful catch, too, man.
Webster would get up and go right back at you. Webster was a tough receiver. I forgot James Lofton, man. I played against James. James was rough, man. James Lofton was a killer. Loved
It's funny because James Lofton broadcasts like the majority of the Texans games now. It's like, you see him standing there with a suit on.
James was
they don't know who. I'll be watching him like, well, that was a bad dude.
He was.
Back on the receiver corps, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
James
I want to ask you something else too, man. Like, because we know about quarterbacking and all that. I always say that defensive back is outside of quarterback is probably the toughest position in the game. You can tell me if you agree.
It's definitely that
because. Your memory got to be so short, man. God, 40-yard pass on you the next, you got to be right back out there the next time and let that go. Do you feel like that's?
Yeah, because if you give up a touchdown, man, if you sit there thinking about it, you're in trouble, man. You're for long. That's when you see you see them young kids and they're picking on him.
Right.
He's not adjusting. He's not mentally focused. He's not getting tough. He's worried about it.
Yeah.
But once you score a touchdown, I'm still gonna talk smack on him. You know,
gotcha.
man, you got lucky, man. You got lucky, man. I fell. You know.
Right.
Or I grabbed my hamstring or something. That didn't count, man. I got hurt. Let's do that again. You know, we're gonna start it over.
Did you feel that more like? Because on those 2-minute drives, man, 2-minute drive down the field type drive, I always looked at the pressure being on those cornerbacks, man. Because like you said, they might be picking on a guy. It's like, man, Montana Elway driving down the field. It's like, did you feel it more? You had to keep that same mindset, like
you feel it more, especially depending on the quarterback. You know, if you got one of them, you're like, man, he's gonna make a play, man. We just got to make sure he don't make a play.
Right.
It's us, because like someone like Montana, Dan Marino, those guys, they always made plays when they need to make plays in those last minute quick drives, man.
Right.
So you got to be on P's and Q's on them guys.
Yeah. You played the majority. You played your whole career against those guys. You talking about that 83 group of quarterbacks.
Sure did.
Marino and Elway.
Elway.
Who else was in that? It was Marino, Elway. Was it Eason?
Bo Eason, New England, Todd Blackledge, I think all of them.
That was a strong class of just Hall of Fame guys, man.
Kelly for the Bills.
Jim Kelly
was ex-gambler. That's one.
Man, that guy. I think, and for you, just to be able to say man, I played against some of the best to ever do it, man. You know, and was right there holding my own, man. That's a hell of a thing.
Yeah, I got a couple games. I got Joe Montana interception ball. I got like 2 Danny Marino interception balls.
Come on.
And I got a John Elway interception ball.
Oh yeah, you got the big 3, right?
Yeah, I got an interception ball 3 of them.
Yeah. You had the presence of mind even back then of keeping this ball, you know.
Keeping that ball.
I see guys get their first touchdown, they throw the ball out in the sand like, dude, you crazy?
Don't throw that ball. Yeah. Let them mark it up for you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Keeping that ball. I kept them balls. My nephews and them are playing with them at my mama's house, you know. Yeah. They don't respect them. They throwing the ball. Hey, ball all marked up, man. Like, come on.
Crazy, man. You know what this is?
Yeah, that's dope. No respect for the ball.
Speaking of family, do you have other family members who had any success in other sports or NFL?
No, not off. No.
I'm on the island.
Yeah, I'm on the island. Yeah.
So you was the one everybody was calling asking for money all the time. Hey man, Richard, I sure hate to ask you, man. They about to kick me out, bro.
All them last minute phone calls.
Yeah, that's crazy. I want real quick, though. Let me ask you. I wanted to ask you about O.J. Simpson. You know, I know O.J. just passed. And did you have any interaction with O.J.?
I don't think I played O.J. against him, but when O.J. But when O.J. always came to town, he always hung out. Him and Warren were good friends. So he would always be at the facility. So we do O.J. We say, hey, O.J. the Juice, taking pictures with the Juice. You know, the Juice was a bad boy. You know,
no question about it.
You know, on that field, the Juice was the Juice, man. He was a bad boy.
No doubt, man. No doubt. You know. We already talked about
2,000-yard season in 14 games.
In 14 games, man. Come on, man.
Electric Company. What that Electric Company out there in Buffalo or something they call it? The Juice he was the man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It, man.
Love the Juice.
Yeah.
If you were to pick a movie or movies that you have some famous or favorite football films that kind of simulate the life of the NFL or maybe college, or are you a movie buff at all?
Being a Chicago guy, my favorite movie is the Brian Piccolo story. The relationship between Brian's song,
that's a tearjerker.
Yeah, it's sad, but being a Chicago guy, that was the movie you watch. Bear movie, there you go, right there. Growing up as a Bear fan, Brian Piccolo, yep.
And for the back, McMahon was in that '83 draft too, wasn't he? Jim McMahon, was he? I think he was '83.
Was he? Big man.
You know, he didn't get a lot of credit, you know, because he wasn't as prolific as those other guys, but he won the bowl.
He was a tough guy and got a Super Bowl, man.
Defense, you know.
He was tough.
Yeah, no question. If there was a coach that you didn't play for that you wish you could have played for in your time, who would have?
San Francisco was a team that everybody wanted to go. You either wanted to go to San Francisco or, of course, Oakland. Yeah. You want to be a Raider.
Right.
No doubt about it. San Francisco or the Raiders.
So and that would have been Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh, Bill Walsh was coach right there.
How important is it? A lot of people don't lend a lot of credibility to coaching, or some people say, man, it means it. Like they look at what New England is now, since Brady left Belichick, and at the time when they was together, they would talk about how you would always hear Belichick, the greatest coach of all time. Now you don't hear that as much. How do you look at that in terms of that dynamic like that?
Well, I look at it from a personal standpoint because, like I said, my first 6 years in Houston, I was a backup.
Yeah.
And then when Pardee came in, I got Pat Thomas, man. I learned so much from Pat Thomas. Yeah. And I got to say, Pat Thomas a contributing factor why I had led the league in interceptions, 8 interceptions. Pat Thomas, reading quarterbacks, came in, had confidence in me, instilled even more confidence. And that was a great move for me. He was a great coach for me.
You get Pat Thomas from day one.
Who knows where I'd have been? Yeah, man.
And still had a hell of a career.
You never know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the system. I didn't like the Houston system when I first came here. It's not a good fit for me.
All right.
Definitely wasn't a good fit. I'd sat around for 5 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's strong. That's strong, man. Okay.
If you could play the offensive side of the ball, would you have played?
I'd have been a wide receiver, maybe,
So you do stand by what? About 6
feet. Just
okay. All right. Because I'll say you're pretty tall for the average cornerback. A lot of guys be 5'9" and
a little smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little big for a corner.
Greatest corner of all time, is that Dion, or you have other people in mind?
Ooh, greatest corner of all time. I don't know. I like the old school game. Night Train, Dick Night Train. I like
Night Train.
when the guy used to beat wide receivers up the whole way down the field, man. They used to be elbowing them, hitting them.
Yeah.
You know, I like the old school guys, man. You know, the Luster Hayes, Mike Haynes. That was one of my guys. Mike Haynes was so smooth.
Man.
Yeah, he was a good quarterback. Mike Haynes.
Okay. Got anything else, Doug?
I think we're about almost at the end of this. We do usually cover other sports, so I am curious what other sports you follow for us.
Well, of course, I'm following basketball right now.
Yeah.
All right, who's your? You always are you homer for the Rockets and Astros, or you have your other teams as far as the Bulls?
Of course,
White
I like the
Sox,
Bulls,
Cubs?
but I'm a White Sox. I'm South Side, so we the White Sox. I'm the South Side.
So your feelings the year the White Sox beat the Astros in the World Series? Who were you rooting for?
Ooh, I was sort of mixed. 'Cause I like the Astros, man.
I was rooting for the White Sox, baby.
No.
I was. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, it was a hell of a run that year. Just the Astros, just to get there, we were happy that they.
They didn't have enough black dudes on the Astros at that time. I was feeling some kind of way. Yeah.
Right, that's true. But the Rockets, you follow the Rockets, or?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't go to very many Rocket games this year for some reason. No, I didn't follow the Rockets.
How about the championship years? Were you?
Oh yeah, definitely followed them then. Yeah, I went to games then.
Championship games, playoff games.
Yeah, went to some games back then.
Wow, really?
Oh yeah. You know, I had a few coins, so I went to a couple games.
Yeah.
Hung out, you know. It was a great atmosphere back then. And the Summit, boy, the Summit was on, man.
Right, the 90s, man.
Summit was going on, man.
Yeah, man. We went from the Summit to Lakewood now, man.
Summit to Lakewood, huh?
Yeah, no, that's good. I missed them days, but you know, last year kind of brought me back with the football side of it with C.J. Stroud and how the Texans are looking, man. Just, you know, we want to get that feeling back of just feeling like we are in the hunt.
Yeah.
You know, it's a messed up thing for a sports fan to start the year knowing you got a long season and your team don't have a chance.
Yeah. Wait till next year.
And
Already.
when y'all were with the Oilers, one thing we knew, we always felt like we had a chance. Like we're gonna be in the mix. We're gonna make the playoffs, and if we can get a few things to fall our way, we got just as good a shot as anybody, man.
Yeah, because I think we went to playoff every year I was there except my rookie year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we won. There was a couple of times where it looked like it was lining up to where Houston and Dallas could meet the Super Bowl. It never came about, man. But that would have turned. That would have set Texas on fire.
That would have been great.
Ooh, that would have set. It might have started a civil war in Texas when you think about it. Like, ooh, man, it'd have been
after Dallas.
But I always talk about to the youngins that don't know, you know, because I played football in high school, by the way. Actually, with Donald Driver. Hopefully,
wide receiver Donald Driver. Yeah,
he's a legend of Wisconsin. I think he has his own street named up there.
Yes, sir.
Like quick. There was a play he made against Madison. He chased the guy down 98 yards, the whole length of the field, and tackled him. Ooh. At that moment, we're watching, we're like, this guy might go in the NFL.
Yeah, he's different.
Yeah.
Was there a moment, can you say, like in high school or maybe college, it was like other people said, or you yourself said, hey, man, I can maybe play in the NFL, man?
I was in high school one year, and we were playing school. It was called Bloom High School. And I hit this guy hard, real hard. Boom, knocked him down. And he jumped right back. Oh, Rich, you ain't do nothing. And then he fell back out. Oh. I was the man then.
Got up too fast.
I was the man. He fell back out there to come get him, man.
Yeah, his mind, his ego got ahead of his faculties.
Yup, that's what I said. I can knock him out, boy. I was the man after that. Yeah.
Was y'all head hunting back then?
Oh, yeah. Always head hunting, No. We used to head hunt where we wouldn't try to hurt you. We might try to kill you, but we never try to hurt you.
We gonna kill you.
We never hurt you. We just gonna try to kill you, but we wouldn't hurt you.
I saw a play many years ago, man. Dude picked Terry Bradshaw up and just slammed him directly on his head, man. It's like, man, that was crazy, man. Like, you might get arrested if you
ain't kid.
Like that today.
They don't file charges on you, man. Assault charges on you, man.
That was insane, man. That was insane.
Or just the medical technology, like you see, like somebody, Alex Smith, right, will lose his leg.
Yep.
That guy got back on the field.
Yeah.
Like today's modern medicine, right? That might have had a chance for you to get back on the field, right? You ever think about that?
Yeah, they probably would have got me back. Back then. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that play we got slammed because we used to see that all the time, and it was another one was the clothesline. Yeah. They used to get that clothesline. Boom. That was a hard hit, man. We used to do that, man. Clothesline guys, but that would really hurt them,
Are you glad they took that out of the league, or they should have left it in?
I think they should have left it in as a defensive player, huh? I mean, that clothesline to get you real good. You let him think he's finna get by. Boom, get that, man. Especially you get him up here, boy.
Ultimate depleter, huh?
From all my years of being a great receiver, y'all, back in the day, one thing I do know, a dude, I was just literally, I'm right down the sideline, and this dude grabbed me by the back, like
horse collar,
and with two hands, and just slammed me on my back. One thing I know is when you take the right kind of hit, you thinking about it from here on out. So that makes it easier on the defensive player. Because in his mind now, he can see it in your eyes like, oh, he ain't too comfortable running these routes now.
You always want to make him see that,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. You want to, put some fear in him, say you want to punk him a little bit.
Yeah.
He ain't going to come back, and they come with them gator arms, we call them gator arms. He's not stretching out, no. Oh, he's coming right here.
Yeah, man.
That ball's going to hit him in the stomach. He ain't reaching for that ball.
Man.
That's when you know you got him there, boy.
Coming across that.
That was your job, man. You had to do, man.
Some guys.
Free ticket come through. Run out. This ain't walking through the tulips here in the middle, man. You gotta pay the price.
Yeah, you gotta really want it. How bad you want to go in there, buddy?
I don't want it.
For some reason, they stop at the hash mark and go right back out, man.
Yeah.
I ain't going in there.
No, quite no doubt about it. Pittsburgh still had a guy named Donnie Shell, right?
Oh yeah, Donnie was rough,
he cracked Earl Campbell's ribs back in the 70s, man. Yeah. Then later on, he cracked Warren Moon's ribs. Moon was running down the sideline, tiptoeing, trying to keep balance, and had all this was exposed. Donnie Shell, bam!
Donnie was a hitter, man.
This dude was a professional rib crackologist or something. Like, he just knew how to hit you in that spot, man. All good. Best hit you ever got in the NFL? Who was it on? That you look back and say, I knocked the hell out that dude.
Oh man, who did I hit? I hit a fullback at Buffalo one time.
Yeah.
Right before halftime, I hit him real hard. Boom.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember halftime. Next thing you know, we was on the field.
Oh yeah, you rung your own bell.
Yeah, but I hit him real hard though. He was hit real hard.
Yeah.
The next time it was third quarter. I said third quarter, but I was all right there. Yeah. Third quarter. Okay. Didn't remember halftime at all, man.
Wow, that's crazy. Man.
Yep.
Man, laying it on the line, man.
Yeah, man. We had a bunch of hits. I think the hardest guys to hit, like for us back then, especially when it's cold, was Cleveland had Kevin Mack and Ernest Biner.
And Kevin Mack.
Two big guys. You did not want to tackle them in the cold, man. You know how we want to intimidate them?
Yeah.
You be like, man, it's cold. You just want to get them on the ground, man, because them big boys is coming at you, man.
Let me ask you about the Astrodome, because from what I understand, it was basically, y'all can't see that, it was like this. Some turf.
Oh yeah, the carpet.
On this.
That sure was. It was hard, man.
So y'all landing on this, getting flipped and
it was
crazy.
Hard.
That's crazy.
And especially when baseball season, when the baseball player, because all the chew, they spit all over the place.
Wow.
Man. So it spit spots all over the Astrodome.
They don't clean that stuff up?
Nope. Spit spots all over the turf.
I remember watching the old Oilers games back in the days, and you could still see just the imprint of the baseball field on. You see the football lines, but you still see like the mound and they still had it out there like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't take it out to like baseball season, usually in October when baseball season was over.
Yeah.
Other than that, they was out there, spit everywhere all over the place.
And y'all playing on it.
And we played on it,
with a rug on top of
it was fast now.
Yeah.
You just didn't want to hit the ground.
Yeah, wow.
It was fast.
Unbelievable.
Very fast.
Wow, man.
Yep.
Well, you got anything else, Doug?
I know. I think this is going to be about it for the show.
Man.
And we have learned so much.
Indeed, man.
The gear that I got from you is amazing. And you can get more on your website.
Beatboxrecords.com. You know, that's how I first met K. Reed.
Look, and that's another.
In the
We
music
talk about the
industry.
music
Yeah.
side.
Right,
The
we
music
talk about
side.
the music.
Let's touch on that for a second.
Yeah, please.
Did
When
not
you
touch-
retired from the league, what made you transition over into rap music? Just music, period. But specifically, I'm gonna get this rap side of it.
First of all, I met one of the guys. He was a door handler. You know, like when you go to the door at the hotel, he was in the rap.
Yeah.
And then when I heard I'm trying to think, was it was an NWA record.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I took an NWA record and played it at the Oilers locker room.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Man, everybody was going crazy. Who put that in there?
Warren Moon, like
Everybody said, RJ put it in there. I put it in left, turned it up, man. Oh, it was so wild.
Yeah.
I said, man, rap has such an influence on people,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And that's when my guy introduced me to Street Military. That's how I met them, right? Yep.
wow.
And that's when I started. It's Beatbox Records, y'all. That's when it started going.
Because you established that label as one. See, Houston is, in my opinion, one of the main homes of pioneering that independent music scene. Because labels on the East Coast and West Coast, they didn't want to sign Southern artists, so we basically had to do it all ourselves. So you had the Rap-A-Lots, the Beatboxes, then later on the Swisher Houses and all that, man. So that big time. That was a crazy thing, man. Because I remember hearing your name at the time. They was like, "Yeah, man, who got that? Oh, that's Richard Johnson." They're like the football player Richard Johnson. Like, how did he end up involved in that? Like, yeah, that's crazy.
But you know who was helpful was your dad. What's his name?
LV.
LV, man.
What's up, LV?
LV gave me the lowdown. He said, "This is how you gotta do." You know.
Yeah.
He was instrumental in helping me get started.
Yeah. Because it was early on, man. And we had probably been doing it probably 5 or 6 years. We were still relatively new at that time too, but we had been through a lot of trial and error to kind of learn, you know, what needed to be done. And see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you and LV had chopped it up.
Yeah, he chopped it up with him because he knew me from the football side too.
Yeah.
You want to do this music thing. Yeah. And then I met Robert Gilliam in Southwest Hotel. Robert was a good guy. That's where I first met Robert Gilliam. That's where I first met Russell. We were both in. I met him at Southwest Hotel.
Yeah, no doubt. Man.
You know, we were there. He was dropping off a UGK record. Military. We was dropping off cassettes.
Man.
Cassettes over there.
Good old days.
Yep, good old days.
Back when you pressed up CDs and tapes. We had to do both back in the days, you know. And they was actually selling.
Sure was.
Man.
We missed the 8-track though.
And I grew up. I rode in the car with the 8-track, but none of my music is on 8-track. Some people try to crack jokes about me on it. Okay, we don't been rapping so long. His first album was on 8-track.
Has any rap album been on 8-track?
I think the 8-track was gone by the time.
It was gone, yeah.
But somebody said something a while back. They was like, man, it'd be cool if somebody would release an 8-track. If you could still manufacture it somewhere, just as a collector.
Yep.
You know, but I don't even know if they still manufacture those things. You could get it manufactured somewhere. But that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that would be nice, getting an 8-track.
And you remained in the music for a long time, man. Just doing a lot of the footwork. You know, just getting out on the road and all that, man. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, it takes a certain kind of fortitude to get out there on that road, because you know, when you're young, it's fun when you're young the first couple of runs, but after a while, I know me, that's the reason to this day I can't do long road trips. If it take over 4 hours to go in the car, I'm fine.
Do it, yeah.
Because I can't do 7, 8, 9 hours. I can't do that no more, man.
Yeah, we used to do that. Well, my boy Rafiq, we used to hit the road.
Yeah, R.I.P. man.
R.I.P. Rafiq, he was a good promoter.
Yeah. But man, we want to thank you, Rich, man. We appreciate your knowledge. We appreciate you just coming and sitting with us and giving us some of that game. And we appreciate the fact that we get to find out that you wasn't part of that 35.
No, I wasn't there, man. I would have prevented it.
I'm glad my boy wasn't part of that. Because for years I thought you was, you know.
No, even if I was on the bench, I would have went and tackled people.
Yeah. Get out of here. Yes, sir,
take the penalty or something. Yeah, that was just
thank
too
you
much.
for coming through with us.
Appreciate it, no doubt.
Oh, we're Legend 34. I can't help but ask, the possibility of maybe some other Oiler?
Oh, for sure, no doubt. We got an as a matter of fact, we got an NFL meeting this Thursday. I'm gonna let them know about you.
Yeah, man. For sure. Warren Moon to come sit down.
Warren Moon.
I don't know who K. Reno is, huh? More than we would
Probably not.
be surprised, huh?
Everybody know who the best rapper in Houston is.
There you
go. Meet him too.
Come on,
introduce me to him.
Houston, everybody. Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, the ultimate show today would have been K. Reno running some routes against you across the middle.
Hold on.
See if K. Reno go across the middle.
He ain't going across the middle. I ain't going across the middle. Okay, well, how your knees now?
I try to get a little workout in every now and then.
I'm never mind then. I'll try to run now. Run around. I just, but no, I ain't going across no middle.
The show at Dynamo Stadium, man. He was out on the field. He was ready to run.
You know, you get flashbacks, man. I'm telling you, I was good, man.
What was you running back then?
6'8". I never was fast. I'm like Rice. I wasn't fast. I just was a good route runner. I had really good hands.
There you go. Yep.
Really good hands.
In my area, I'm getting quick.
But I wasn't fast at all, bro.
Wasn't fast.
Yeah. So,
yeah, we all lose a step here and there.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I stick to the basketball court right now and stick to the mic. So.
There you go. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Legends 34, man. Homie DJ Rec. We got the great Richard Johnson.
Legend 34.
Thank y'all so much, man. Subscribe to the channel and make sure y'all share these videos and show us some love. All right.
And we out.
Peace and have grief.
Legends 34. That's the number in Houston.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
That is the number in Houston. 34.
There it is, right there. The big three.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
This is the Legends 34 Sports Podcast with your hosts, K. Reno and DJ Rec.